I connected back to the gang I was working with at Shuddh Desi Endings.
Right.
I told them, let's start a horror YouTube channel
Right.
and let's do it in animation.
Okay.
So two things why I thought it would work. One is I didn't want to tell horror stories just like that. I wanted to have a visual medium
Okay.
attached to it.
Okay.
So animation was something which could not be easily copied.
Makes sense, because animation in itself is a very difficult process. It's a very expensive process to kind of
Correct.
recreate it, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was the idea we started out with, that it would not be easily copied.
Okay.
And the other part was horror content doesn't have any copyrights.
Okay.
So there are so many horror stories which are very similar to each other, which are very different from each other. They are all available on the internet. There is no copyright to any horror story.
They have their own variations probably,
Yeah,
right? Every
absolutely.
famous horror story will end with something or the other happening.
Absolutely.
And I've seen some of your horror stories which are very famous otherwise also. The Delhi Ridge
Correct.
one, right? The Dumas Beach in
Correct.
Gujarat, that
Correct.
one. Right?
Bhangad.
Bhangad wala. Bhangad is like,
Yeah,
tourist
correct.
attraction now. I
Yeah.
think even ghosts come there as tourists
Yeah.
probably. So, with the kind of, publicity that it has gained.
Absolutely.
But anyways, coming back.
Yeah.
So you decided that it needs to be a visual medium and in the animated form,
Right.
because you thought that there was some kind of defensibility around animated content.
Correct.
Right?
Correct, and also it will be an interesting medium to showcase horror. It was an experiment. Like,
Okay.
horror working in animation is unheard of.
Right.
It-
So nobody was doing it before.
Nobody was doing it before.
Okay.
So that was something that we started doing, and I think two things here. One is the style, the unique style of putting across the narrative, the story in animation.
Right.
That worked really well for us.
Right.
Secondly, horror as a genre worked for us because horror is massively underserved in this country. People want to know horror stories. People are crazy about bhoots and chudails, but they are not
I-
getting the kind of content that